What is your view of what happened, and where are we in the contact tracing for some of the participants?
Good to be with you, Joe. Listen, first of all, let me say unequivocally, we wish the president, the first lady, anyone else who's been infected, including my predecessor, Governor Christie, we wish them well. They're in our prayers, and we wish them a very speedy and quick and full recovery. Yeah, from the report your colleague just gave, that's largely consistent with what we've heard. But this should never have taken place. With all due respect to if they knew that, listen, our rules are, if you're in touch with anyone knowingly who's COVID positive, you got to take yourself off the field. You got to self-quarantine. And they flew in the face of that, literally and figuratively, by the way. And we've paid, you and I have talked about this, we've paid an enormous toll in New Jersey to bring this thing under control. We've had our own challenges of late in spikes. For folks to come in from out of state and potentially infect others is just completely unacceptable.
Are you saying the president knew he had COVID at Bedminster, or what were you saying?
No, I'm not saying that because I don't know that that's knowable, but they knew, according to everybody, including the chief of staff of the White House, that Hope Hicks was positive, at least that she was positive, and they all had been in close proximity.
So they knew that she had been the previous, the previous day or the same day, and went to Bedminster. So you could assume that someone may have gotten it from Hope Hicks.
I mean, that's the rules of the road, Joe. I mean, this virus doesn't care who you are. By the way, New Jersey doesn't care who you are. If you've been exposed, first of all, if you've got symptoms, obviously, but even if you don't and you've been exposed, you knowingly, you got to take yourself off the field. And so to the folks who attended that event, I hope they're all right, that they feel like they were socially distanced and they feel good. Your colleague said it right, and our health department has made this point strenuously, which I will underscore. A negative test immediately thereafter doesn't mean anything because it takes a while for this virus to incubate. So my advice, if you were there at the event, self-quarantine and take a test, as your colleague said, beginning, say, tomorrow, but still stay self-quarantined after that. So
we're at, in New Jersey, 1.24. That's not a horrific number, but it did go up for the sixth straight day, 957 positive tests. When do you get to the point where some of the reopenings that we've seen are reversed, or are you slowing down at this point? What are you considering doing right now? Because there have been some reopenings in New Jersey that are in progress, and some schools. A lot of schools still aren't open. My son goes one day a week. So what do we need to do? What would it have to get to before you'd reverse something?
So, Joe, all options are on the table, but if I had to predict, it is a minimum, it is a suspension of any further openings. Schools, by the way, knocking on wood here, have largely gone well in terms of in-school transmission. We have only, as of late last week, 11 instances in over 3,000 buildings. Most school districts, or the majority, are a hybrid model. We've got some that are completely remote, some that are completely in person. I think what you could expect if we still see the numbers like we've seen over the past number of days, as opposed to a blanket set of decisions or moves, would probably use a scalpel in particular communities. We've got a challenge right now, for instance, in higher education, a number of outbreaks in universities. So we're sending hotspot teams into some of our colleges. But I think you could expect to see something more along the lines of a scalpel, a particular community, a particular step, a particular type of gathering.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.